Good morning, everyone. A friend and a loyal subscriber asked a little while back ago about an animal update, and I gave an update on the dogs. And about a week ago, I filmed a video for the remainder of the animals, but honestly, in the past week, we've had changes. So, we still have not found a new home for McGruff. We've had a couple of different people saying they were interested. We've had 2 no-shows. One, they didn't even bother messaging at the end, and the other apparently hit a tire on the way. They were driving all the way from Austin, which we thought was kind of strange to drive 3.5 hours for a free pup, but you know, okay. Anyway, so we were sad that they had the issue with their vehicle, but anyway. So here are some of the bunnies. Those 2 bunnies are still doing well, and the mama's doing well. We need to go ahead and separate those bunnies from the mama, but right now they've got plenty of space, and so we've just kind of left them. We need to get another cage ready for them to be separated into. These rabbits are still just kind of hanging out, chilling. All 4 of these are females. And then we've got our male Californian over there. He's doing well. And then we've got our bunnies back here. Now this set of bunnies, which was actually a litter of 2 that was combined, they are now separated into their own cage. And that's working out pretty well. There was just a lot of them to be with the mama, and we had the spare cage open, so we decided it would be a good idea to go ahead and separate them. And then we've got the other females that I'm showing you here, and then here are 2 more of our males. Everybody's faring pretty well. These trees really do work well as a microclimate. Before we get too far, let's go ahead and feed the kitty cats. We have to feed the cats in the morning, give them a little bit of time to eat, and then we let the chickens out. Because if we don't, the chickens eat the kitty food. Kitty, 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 kitties. And I kind of separate the food out in several places so all the kitties aren't trying to eat in one area. Hi, Hercules. Hi, Herc. Okay. And we don't always do this, but I'm going to go ahead and feed the goats. Now, we don't always get to do this morning routine because once we all get on the same schedule, then basically we would have to do all the chores in the evening because we'd all be leaving early. But Justin and I had a long day yesterday. Things turned out differently than planned. There you go, boys. Good Chief, good Astro. And so, since Justin was going to get to go in an hour later to work, we decided to go ahead and have me go in later. That way he could get a little extra sleep. I could get a little extra sleep. And so, yeah, that's how we did it. And that's our other male that we have. He's another of the standard Rex. So, what I was trying to say, and if you're wondering why all these rabbits are under the tree, it creates a perfect microclimate. Because not only does it provide shade, but when the leaves transpire just through normal, like photosynthesis and energy changes that it makes, it releases water. Actually, I say that. It's not the energy change. I think it's the way plants bring water up from the roots. It opens the stomata, or little holes on the underside of leaves, to create capillary action to bring the water up into the rest of the plant. And sometimes when that happens, it releases water through those holes of the leaf. If you ever walk under a crepe myrtle tree in summertime, sometimes you get spit on, and it's because of water coming out through the stomata. So anyway, that excess moisture creates a cooling effect in addition to the shade, and that's your microclimate. The only two issues we've had with having rabbits under trees is number one, that bunny over there had a pear fell on his cage, and some of the ants got to it, and sometimes we have to take care of pears on these cages as well. Essentially, if you got your rabbits under fruit trees, you got to make sure you remove the fruit as quickly as possible so that there's not too many ants on there, because yeah, they may be after the fruit at first, but then they might start going after the rabbit, and that's not cool. You could spray down your cages, but we try not to spray unless it's absolutely necessary, like whenever there are ants on the clothesline, because I do not do well with ants on the clothesline. I don't like bringing ants into the house, and plus it's a pain to try to get ants off the clothes. And with us having little ones, I don't want them getting bit. Not that I enjoy getting bit, but I really don't want my kiddos getting bit. So here is the newest addition to the homestead. Oh, hi pups. Yes. There are 18 chicks in that cage, and I see that I need to give them some water. And since the puppies are back here, I think I'm going to bring the water to the cage. So let's go get some rainwater from our buckets. We did get some rain recently. It wasn't like tons of rain, but you know what? Every little bit certainly helps. Okay. Probably the last day for that one before we need to graduate that to garden water. Here we go, Cheeky Boos. Yeah, y'all are thirsty, aren't you? There we go. Now I'm really grateful. It seems that the chicks have figured out fairly easily that that's water. We still currently have all 18, and I did not dip their beaks in that water whenever we put them in, because we got them late in the evening and we were talking with the individual that brought them. It was actually a coworker of Justin's, and he offered them for free to us, and they're all different kinds of ages, because essentially he has quite a few chickens, and a lot of them have been brooding, and so he just went out to his place and started catching chickens, or little chicks. So I think there were a few that were a couple of days old, and then there's some that are probably a couple of weeks old. So it's kind of an interesting mix. It works well that they are all those different ages, because probably the older ones found that water first, and the younger ones learned it from the older ones. Oh, hey, this is where we go get water. And I will need to scooch that cage over because they need a new spot of grass. I originally was going to put them, well, we were originally planning on putting them in the cage that's in the coop that we were considering to be the brood box. And it still is going to be the brood box. But what we realized is while this held the older chicks, there were those little day-old chicks. Yeah, they went right through those holes. So we are going to have to add some additional wire around that to chick-proof it. And I'm thinking that it's also necessary so that we can keep out snakes. Now, I have not seen a snake in a while. We have had in the past some major issues with Texas rat snake. And if you want to check on the December oddities and weirdisms, or whatever I titled that, pardon me, there is a video where I show pictures from whenever I killed a snake because it was killing our, well, it killed some chicks and it killed a hen. So at that point it's like, okay, you're gone. So I'm pointing the camera over here because just now that thud was 2 pairs falling and it hit their cage, but thankfully it came off. So the pears, well, maybe McGruff will start eating them. We did have a pit bull that ate the pears. He loved them. But usually the chickens eat the pears that fall, and sometimes we throw pears into the goats. And it looks like maybe now it'll be at least a play toy for the puppies. Now, granted, the pups stay in the front yard, so it's not like they have constant access to it. But anyway, let me go ahead and, is there anything else? Oh, cats. Trying to remember what all animals we've talked about. So the cats are doing pretty well. We still have 8 kittens to the last count that we had. I think Justin said we've got 5 females, and then of course there's Rebel. And I could be wrong, but I think Nala might be pregnant again. Woohoo! And her leg is looking so much better. It healed on its own fairly nicely, and all I really did was put hydrogen peroxide on it daily. There we go. It's this leg. So, yeah, doing pretty well. Super excited about that because she had a pretty good gash on her. And so we were a little concerned, but I told Justin several days later, I was like, man, you know, maybe I should have put some stitches on her, but I wasn't able to that day. And so that's why I just continued doctoring her with the peroxide, and she did well. Alrighty, y'all. I think I've kind of rambled on enough today. I'm going to go ahead and move those chicks and head inside so I can start getting ready to take the kiddos to daycare and me head on to work. Y'all have a blessed day. Talk to you again soon. Thanks for joining us here at Kooker. God bless.